welcome to the second of my Das Ranting mini-series, Hate It for the Right Reason. In this episode, I'll be discussing a topic that relates very much to the first one I covered, about how people complain that the Cullens don't die in the sunlight, and why it's really silly to focus on something so superficial. But if you remember, I said that that was one of the most popular reasons to hate Twilight. Well, you had better believe that when I say that this one, it's the single biggest gripe in the Twilight hate them. But I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong. Real vampires don't sparkle. If you're a Twi hater and you've ever screamed about how vampires should die in sunlight and scoff at Edward prancing around at high noon, you really need to ask yourself just one question, and it's not, do I feel lucky? It's, are you offended because he's out in the daytime, or is it because he's sparkling when he doesn't? While people will back up their complaints about why vampires should die in sunlight with their favorite vampire lore, the most popular reason why people say vampires shouldn't sparkle is just because it looks stupid. That's it. Guess what, folks? Thinking the sparkling is stupid doesn't make it wrong or incorrect or anything else. There are plenty of people out there who don't think it's stupid, and they aren't any more right or wrong than those that do. Sparkling vampires are just a reinvention of the vampire myth that they can't go out in the sun. Fire provided a legitimate reason for her vampires seeming and remaining nocturnal that was genuinely original, perceived stupidity aside, and left it at that. On the basic level, it's no different than a vampire staying out of sunlight because it fries them extra crispy. Ultimately, and tying back to my first episode of this little mini-series, I don't think it's the fact that vampires of Twilight are not harmed by the sun that angers so many people. It's the fact that they sparkle with impunity. However, I ask again, why is this wrong? How is turning into a bat or even mist somehow more right? Just because sparkling sounds silly? That doesn't hold any water, guys. Other myths and legends can be equally ridiculous. The Huldra women, for example, have cow's tails and hollow backs. The Curupira is a forest guardian with flaming red hair, green teeth, and backwards turned feet. The Squonk is a creature with ill-fitting skin covered in warts and blemishes and spends its days hiding in the forest feeling sorry for itself. Those all sound and look ridiculous. But I don't see anyone saying that the Huldra women shouldn't have cow's tails, or the Curupira really needs to turn his feet around. In simplest terms, that argument is simply a matter of preference, and opinion is neither right nor wrong. When you say vampires shouldn't sparkle because it looks stupid, you're basically acting like a Twihard who says Edward Cullen is clearly a good boyfriend because he's hot and he drives an Aston Martin. It's superficial, guys. A matter of preference. You can't use your preferences to make a valid argument against Twilight.